The opinions expressed in this show are the views of the host and not necessarily that of WTRW, 94.3 The Talker, or the Bold Gold Media Group.
The following presentation is brought to you by the host of the program, who is solely responsible for its content.
All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
This is the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Good morning. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with my husband, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney.
Good morning, Jackie. How are you today?
Excellent. How are you?
Very good.
We have with us Tom Toole, owner of Up to Code Electrical. Thanks for coming back.
No problem.
We're happy to have you. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. discussing real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many relentless realtors. We have been listing, selling, and appraising real estate for nearly 50 years.
Wow, 50 years. During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you're at jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and get a bird's eye view of Dunmore Corners and see what's going on.
We are a Century 21 Quality Service Award winning office year after year. We're very proud of that. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest, and view our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to jruddy.com, jruddy.com. And anyone that was checking out our archive radio shows that couldn't click a link, we have it all straightened out. Most shows are there.
Tommy, yours is there from a couple of years ago. Don't worry about it.
But not all the way back to 2010, but we had some dead links there, but it's all straightened out.
We had some dead shows, too.
Mm-hmm. But well, the dead shows
they didn't make it. They're not there.
Yeah, it can't be revived.
Yeah. Oops.
Okay. Tom Toole, owner of Up to Code Electrical. We talked a lot about circuit breakers, breaker panels. Last week we talked about Federal Pacific panels, and you talked about those. I would love to know regarding circuit breaker panels. How's the Square D?
Excellent.
We see them a lot.
Excellent.
So they don't have the same reputation as Federal Pacific?
No, not at all. Not
okay,
at all.
So they're a good panel.
Yes, night and day.
All right. What panel would you recommend a homeowner consider when they're doing an upgrade to their panel box?
Square D is definitely one of them. Square D, Cutler Hammer. Now, they make two different versions. So you could get a Square D home line, okay? Or you could get a Square D QO. I recommend spending a little bit more money and getting the Square D QO. They have the sight window, which is, everybody knows it's the little orange window when it trips out, and you could see that, which is a lot nicer. Cutler Hammer now has that with their CH panel box, which is nice because the problem that I have a lot of times is people will call me and say, the breaker tripped and I reset it, but it's not turning back on. So what happened is really when you reset a breaker, you have to go off and then go back on.
All the way over to the left until it clicks.
Yeah. So not only are they trying to look for it because it might be, the Cutler Hammer BR, which doesn't have the sight window. It's usually like on a half off position, and then they just go to click it right to the on, and sometimes it sticks there, but then it's not on. So I can't tell you how many times I've tried to walk people through it, and then I go over and I do the service call, and then I have to charge them, and I really don't want to because I can do it real easy over the phone with them and save them the service call charge. So that's the nice thing about the Square D in the Cutler Hammer is with the sight window right off the bat, you see the orange in there, so you know which one tripped. And then, like I said, just remember to go completely off and then turn it back on. Don't just try to go back on because it might click over and stick, but you have no power. You have to shut off, turn back on.
Very good. Okay. Last week we talked about counterfeit products that are available to consumers at a cheaper price. So we were talking about phone chargers and extension cords.
Yes.
Don't buy them at the dollar store.
No.
Okay. There's also power strips.
Yes.
That fall into that classification. There's good and bad.
Yes.
All right.
So if you're looking for a power strip, I would just recommend you go to a supply house. You go to Lowe's, Home Depot. You could go to Friedman, Galderi in our area. You go there. You tell them what you're doing with it. If it's a computer, you might get surge protection on it because of the electronics. They're recommending that a lot now that everything has a surge protector. They actually do it with whole house. You could buy one for your panel box, but you need an electrician to install that, where surge protects your whole house from lightning or brownouts, voltage fluctuation. But you could also get that on a small scale that you could try to do with your computers is buy a power strip with a surge protector. But you want to make sure it's UL approved.
UL.
Yeah, Underwriter Laboratories approved, and not by, you go to the dollar store, the thing's $4 and it's some other approval. Well, it should be UL. That's the standard that you want to go with. So you're better off to go to the supply house, explain the situation, and then they'll get you the proper power strip.
Flea markets also are a famous set for those products. And everybody thinks they're getting such a great deal, but
yeah.
Everybody wants cheap, but these are some things you shouldn't skimp on.
No, it's not a great deal when your computer goes or
when
your house.
Yeah, really.
I've seen surge protectors melted, so I've seen power strips melted that were knockoff, surge protectors melted that were knockoff. So we want to get the proper stuff out there to the people, and that's why you go to the supply houses, or you go to, like I said, you go to a Lowe's or Home Depot if you don't feel comfortable going to the supply house. But you're talking to a professional, you get a professional product, and you're safe. Don't go to the dollar store, please.
Light bulbs.
Light bulbs.
There's all these different types of light bulbs, and LED lighting is the latest. And you pay a little bit more for the light bulb, but they last longer, or they're supposed to last longer.
And they use a lot less energy, too.
Yes. So you have, a 60-watt incandescent is using 60 watts and an LED is using 6 watts. So big savings there on your electricity bill. You're doing good for the environment. When they first came out, there was some problems of them going out. They pretty much, the technology is getting better. And that's another item too. You want to go to a Friedman Electric or a Galderi's and get it, because if something happens, when you go to the supply house, they're just going to replace it. You go to the dollar store and buy LED bulbs, they're probably not going to replace it.
No, you're on your own.
Yeah, so you're on your own. So I would suggest that's another thing to go to the pros and get it. But they are, they come in all different flavors. They're great. Your energy bill, you're reducing cost on your electric bill, you're doing good for the environment, and then you have the famous where people are putting too big of bulbs in a socket.
Okay.
All
So
right.
that's my question.
I've never seen that.
No, so you have, a light fixture that calls for a 40.
Yes.
But it feels like you barely have any light on when you put that 40-watt bulb in that light fixture. Mm-hmm. So it makes perfect sense to me. Put a 100-watt
incandescent bulb in there.
Yeah,
and then,
right.
And then seal it up. And then you tighten that fixture back up so,
Yeah. So,
and I can see then.
Yeah, and what we're essentially doing is, we have a nice oven in there now where we're baking the socket. So your socket is... Usually it has a sticker on it, so you might buy a new vanity light.
The sticker is burnt off.
Yeah.
The sticker. I can't find the sticker.
Well, everybody peels that off and throws it away. But if you look... everybody disregard that. Mm-hmm. So if you look hard enough on the socket, it has a rating for you. It has 40 watt. And then you put 100 watt in, and then, like Pat said, if it's a sealed fixture, now you're sealing it up. So not only are you baking the socket, but going against the ceiling... You have insulation, and then you have the factory wire. So now that's getting baked, and that's where the fire could arise. So what I suggest is putting an LED bulb in. Check with your professionals to make sure that you could seal the LED bulb, that it's it could be sealed in a fixture. But if you could do that, then you could put a 100-watt bulb in the 40-watt socket because the 100-watt bulb's only drawing 10 watts. So, but that's another thing you have to check. What I tell everybody to do, Pat, and Jackie, if you go to the supply house and get the fixture, because this happens to me all the time, they get the fixture and I go, where's the bulbs? Nobody gets the bulbs, ever. Get the bulbs, please.
You get LED bulbs.
Yeah. Just, you go to buy the fixture, tell them you want LED bulbs, they'll give you the proper stuff. Instead of trying to shop on your own or, oh, I got the fixture at the supply house, but then I went and got knockoff bulbs at the dollar store, and now I have problems.
Aha.
Yes.
Right. You want to assemble it all together.
Yes.
And make sure everything is just right.
Yes.
Okay. With us today is Tom Toole, owner of Up to Code Electrical, based in Dunmore. You're also into general contracting.
Yes.
What else do you do?
We're doing roofing, siding, additions, decks, small jobs, big jobs, everything.
And how long have you been doing electrical?
Probably 16 years.
Okay. Can I have contact information, please?
570-840-9953.
Thank you. Pat?
Yes, we have a great deal. It's a half acre of land. It's got a manufactured home on it. It's in Archibald on River Street for only $32,000. This is literally feet away from the Lackawanna River Walk. It's beautiful. This is a really great deal. It's only feet away from the Lackawanna River Walk, where you can walk out the door and go right down to the river, and you can hang out and enjoy your coffee. It's right there. The views of the river are amazing, so go to jready.com and take a look at it. The manufactured home is getting a new kitchen cabinets and new flooring. So if you're looking for a little piece of heaven, it's also got a nice carport. So if you're looking for a little piece of heaven at a little price, check this out. Half acre of land on River Street in Archibald for only $32,000, and that's listed by Sam Shelter of our office.
Thank you, Pat. I have the Greater Scranton Board of Realtors MLS statistics for single-family homes sold in Lackawanna, Luzerne, Pike, Wayne, and Wyoming counties. The median sales price for 2 bedrooms or less is $82,000. The median sales price for a 3-bedroom single-family home is $127,660. 4 bedrooms or more is $190,000 median sales price on sold single families. How did people pay for these homes? And this is over the last 30 days. How did they pay for their single family home in Lackawanna, Luzerne, Pike, Wayne, and Wyoming counties? 22.4% paid cash. 40.3% went for a conventional type of mortgage. 26.3% used an FHA mortgage. 6.2% took advantage of the VA, Veterans Administration type of mortgage. 2.3% used rural housing, and 2.3% used PHFA. Now, interesting to me is the fact that cash, the percentage is going down. Conventional is right around the same, but it was 2 years ago, even maybe a year ago, cash and conventional were dead even. Remember that?
Yeah, it was up in the 30s for cash. It was a lot.
Wow.
So that's very telling. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We'll be right back to talk more about electrical. In today's real estate market, there's no doubt buying and selling a home is complicated. It can be thrilling and exciting too. Hi, I'm Jackie Ruddy from Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. And when it comes to real estate, you need to be confident you're making the right decisions. I am confident we have what it takes to help you make those right decisions. Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate has been helping buyers and sellers for over 40 years. So we've invested the time to know and understand the market. We're great listeners, skilled negotiators, and we focus on every detail, giving you the highest level of service. Call Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate today, 344-6724, or visit jruddy.com. Plus, tune in to the Real Estate Roundtable every Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. on 94.3 FM The Talker. Don't go it alone. Call 344-6724 for Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Thanks for joining the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy. And with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor. hello.
Hello, and we're back, and we're having a good conversation.
We're talking with Tom Toole, owner of Up to Code Electrical. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
So we're talking all about electrical. We're having a fascinating discussion. You know, it's confusing. Electrical terminology is confusing. Electrical, when I'm looking at it, I mean, I probably know more than the average person because I'm in and out of so many houses, but sometimes it's confusing. So you're here to straighten out that confusion. What is arcing?
So they came out with arc fault breakers to protect. There's like a combination and series arc now. So I'll give you an example. Everybody you're going to hang a picture before 3M. Everybody went down to the basement. They got the framing nail.
Oh, yeah,
right?
you need a big 12-penny nail, yeah.
They got the framing nail, driving that through the wall. Okay, you got a 2x4 wall. They go through, they hit the wire, and, you know, maybe before your regular breaker didn't trip out, and you started a fire. Well, now, the way the arc fault works is if it goes through the hot wire and breaks it apart, the arc fault senses that and trips it out. Or if the nail hits the hot in the ground or the hot in the neutral, it senses that. So it's a combination arc fault. There used to be just series, which was if the one wire just broke. Now there's combination, which is nice. They want them in the bedrooms, in all the bedrooms, because where are the kids hanging the pictures?
In the bedroom.
Everything's going in the bedrooms. Another thing was, you know, you have your dresser. You got that cord plugged in. And what do you keep doing?
Banging it up.
You're pushing that dresser back. You're pushing that dresser back. That cord's getting smushed. It might be getting frayed. Arc's going to pick up on that, and it's going to immediately kick off. So it's more of a sensitive breaker than your regular standard breaker.
Have you been in my house and you saw where the bureau pushes up against the wall and it kind of bends?
Yeah, I did see that. That's how it started this conversation, right?
Everybody's house.
But it's something that you don't look at. You don't think about that. You never think about that little stuff, and that's the stupid stuff that could cause a fire. I mean, that goes up, the dresser goes up, what's in the dresser clothes, and next thing you know, your whole house is going up.
Engulfed.
So it's a serious, I know people get aggravated and fall. I mean, I do. I'm in the business, so everything costs more. The arc fault breaker is 3 times the amount of a regular breaker, but it's potentially saving somebody's life. When you look in the code book, they tell you this all happens because something bad happened. Either somebody got injured or somebody died, and that's why they keep pumping these codes out.
So what are some of the new requirements on new construction, especially?
So it used to be just arc faults in the bedroom, but basically now is if you're not ground fault, GFCI protected, we'll get into that. If you're not GFCI protected, you need to be arc fault protected in all your rooms in the house. So they changed that a few years ago. Some of the municipalities still only have the bedrooms from that code. They only adopted that, and then some of them are newer and they want everything on arc fault or ground fault.
So GFCI, also known as GFIs,
yes,
is ground fault interrupter.
Yeah, ground fault circuit interrupter. That should be on all your outside outlets. That's in your kitchens, in your bathrooms, anything electrical within 6 foot of water. Unfinished basements, you need to have GFCI. So, like I said before, with the new codes now, if it's not arc fault, it's ground fault. And that's better for everybody because the GFCI is for, you're doing your hedges and I know everything's cordless now, but still, if you have a cord, you're plugging in, you got a fray, it hits the water, you got a little dew on the grass, it's going to go out. Nobody wants to get lit up. So it's only there it's there for you.
Safety.
Yes.
What other safety items are there out there that are newer?
We have tamper-resistant outlets now. So everybody knows you used to go to the store and buy the covers that you would put in when you had your little baby starts moving around now, so everybody puts the covers in. Well, now the outlets have it built in. So when you plug in your two top horizontal, your hot and neutral, when you go to plug in, there's actually, if you're looking at the face of it, if you're really looking there, you'll see plastic built right in. So you have to simultaneously plug something in. So a plug will only work. So they get a screwdriver, and they try to stick it in there. That window's not going to open. So that's another safety feature. That's required everywhere too now.
And you don't even know it's there.
No, that's the nice part. You don't have them covers anymore, or the little one's going to pull it off eventually and start playing with the covers. So now it's built in. Another safety feature.
You did that when you were a little boy?
Yes, I did it when I was a little boy. I stuck a spoon in the outlet, and I got lit up and I screamed, and I stayed away from every outlet in the house as far away as I could.
So you learned the old school way.
Yes, that's like touching the hot radiator.
Yeah,
Don't touch it.
You learned the old school way, yeah.
So did our son, Patrick. I'll never forget, I was on a business call, and we were all home, and he went over to the outlet and figured it out and put his...
something in there.
Yeah, they're curious.
And there was a little scream.
Yeah.
Followed by a scream. And,
the kids get curious.
You could really seriously get hurt, though.
But that's the thing. That's like I said, that's why the safety's there, because somebody there possibly died because of that.
It's unfortunate, but usually tragedies have a tendency to make those changes. So let's talk about reverse polarity. That's something I hear constantly on inspection reports. Reverse polarity. Outlets have reverse polarity.
That's a big thing that we run into all the time. So a simple way to check for that is you go buy an outlet tester, and it actually plugs into the outlet, and then there's a little reading there, and it tells you if there's an open ground, if it's reverse polarity. And basically reverse polarity is your hot's on the neutral and your neutral's on the hot. And I don't know, for whatever reason, just like you said, Jackie, it is so common. Like every old house you go into, it's written right up. That's probably that's next to your Federal Pacific. And I don't know if it was just because a lot of them guys worked on DC stuff and positive and negative, but it's totally different with electricity. Because DC and AC are two different animals, but a lot of the old timers, I think, just that's why it was always reversed. So, but that's just dangerous. So, but it's an easy thing to fix. It's easy to fix. So it's not a big deal, but it could harm equipment, and especially with the electronics, like we said before, with the power strips and the surge protectors, because everything has electronics incorporated into it. It's not, the old way used to be straight electricity, but now your ballast for a light fixture has electronics in it. Everything's electronic. So all that stuff is way more sensitive to alternating current.
Let's talk about smoke detectors.
Okay.
Since I know a little bit about that stuff. What's the biggest thing you see with smoke detectors? Smoke detectors save lives. I used to be a fireman in New York, and I've seen countless situations where if people would have had a smoke detector, they could have detected the fire a lot earlier and caused a lot less damage to their house. So what's the biggest issue that you see?
A lack of people putting them in, just like you said. And actually, you probably done it at your department where you used to hand them out and try to stress people to put them in. But you don't have to go crazy, okay? So in new construction, they want hardwired battery backup. But if you buy an old house, they have the lithium ion. They're 10-year lithium ions now. After 10 years, you throw them away. But bedrooms, hallways, you could buy the plug-in carbon monoxide detectors. Plug one in down in the basement, get one on your first floor, get one on your second floor. That's another thing, too. It's not expensive stuff. I mean, a lithium ion might be $40, and the plug-in one for the carbon monoxide might be $30-40. So it's not an expensive thing to save your life. But you could do that. They have, you could do the hardwired ones. In an older house, obviously, it's going to be more expensive because we have to fish the walls. Or you could they make ones now where you wire the first one, and then they actually interact with each other. You program them, and they signal each other. So you got to have, you need to have them in all the bedrooms. You need to get one in the hallway on the second floor. You need to get one in the hallway on the first floor. You got to get them one in the basement. Obviously, don't try not to put them in the kitchen because if you cook like me, you're always burning stuff and they're going to go off constantly. You could actually, if you have a security system, you could call your security company. You could get them hardwired in where they go right to the department if something happens, right to your security company if something happens. But a lot of people they just don't think about them until it's too late.
Right, and if they go off or if they start chirping, people say, "Oh, it's time to take the battery out." They really, and it's notorious with renters, right?
You just hit the nail on the head. 'Cause I'm trying not to laugh, but I have rental properties. Every time I go in them, what's gone?
The battery.
I've had smoke detectors gone. It's gone. Like they took them down, threw them away.
Well, they were chirping. They were annoying. They were waking them up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but how many times have I gone to show a property or in the property to look at it, and they don't even pull the battery. It's chirping.
Yeah.
It's just, and they're living there like this.
Yeah.
Sleeping like this.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
That couldn't go on and on.
Oh my God. It's one of those things. It's one of my pet peeves. I cannot stand that noise.
No, I can't either. And I mean, all my rental properties are pretty much hardwired, so I get a lot of calls like that. But it's not that hard. It's a ladder and a 9-volt battery. You know, couple things that you have to do with smoke detectors is you got to change the batteries out, and you got to dust them. The dust gets in there, actually. The dust gets in there, and bugs, believe it or not, are attracted to that little LED light in there. So you could just blow them out, and that'll extend the life of them.
Well, the carbon monoxide detectors, you were talking about those, you have one on every floor. They have a limited life. They don't last forever, right? Don't they? They become saturated after a while?
The plug-in ones last pretty long. Now you could buy the same ones that are like, you get a smoke carbon monoxide detector like the ones that you have for the ceiling. So they're going to last as long as, your 10-year lithium ions, or the battery's going to chirp. They're the same. They're just a smoke combination.
Right.
They want them in the hallways, though. They stress that. They want a smoke carbon monoxide detectors in all the hallways.
On each level, right?
Yeah.
On each level?
Yeah.
And I would have a smoke detector in each bedroom?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So you want to hit your hallways. You want to hit your basement, because that's another thing, too. You have, you have an old steam furnace. How many people are getting the chimney swept every year? Probably not a lot. So if that backs up, carbon monoxide, nobody's waking up. You got that attached garage. Who leaves the car running? You have an attached garage. You actually need to have one on both sides. You should have it in the garage and on the other side, because it's just telling you, hey, your car's running. And how many times, if you did have an attached garage, you know how it is. You're running around like a maniac. You could start that car. You're going back in the house. It's coming in. You don't have that detector. You're going to sleep and not waking up.
Good advice. Tom Toole, owner of Up to Code Electrical. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
570-840-9953.
But you don't just do electrical.
No, we branched out into general contracting, so we're doing roofing, siding, additions, decks, big and small jobs.
Wonderful. We're having a community outreach call to action during the month of March. We've been conducting it January and February as well. We're collecting non-perishable food items along with some basic hygiene products, soap, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo. We're also accepting gloves, hats, socks. We will deliver these items to shelters and those in need in our area. And for anybody that participates by dropping off these items, you are eligible to win a $50 Sibio's gift certificate. We love to reward the generous, kind, giving people of our community. So stop by our office at 111 West Drinker Street, Dunmore, with some of these items. Thank you.
Yeah, Tom likes Sibio, so he's going to be dropping some stuff off,
Okay.
hoping that he wins.
All right, Pat. Would you like to review a listing?
Yes, we have a 3-unit property at 1721 Vine Street in Scranton for $125,000. This property, it's got two bedroom apartments and a 1-bedroom apartment. The building is only 2 blocks from Nayoak Park and Geisinger Hospital. The 2-bedroom apartments are large. They're beautiful apartments. They have hardwood floors, tile baths, and they're move-in ready. It also has a large 2-car garage that could be rented out for additional income. The 3rd floor 1-bedroom apartment, it needs some updating. So that's a 3-unit building with a 2-car garage at 1721 Vine Street in the Hills section of Scranton for $125,000, and that's listed by Aaron Pierce of our office.
Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to listen to more of the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate and 94.3 The Talker.